is like a magazine?
It's a newspaper.
A newspaper?
Yeah, it's just a local newspaper in Toledo.
This is all based in Toledo.
Right. And but the larger idea is that, I have a production media company, and part of that is to create, a Midwestern publication. But that's kind of like my side project. This would be kind of like an introduction with working with people, and then maybe that would give me the confidence to kind of go out on the limb and take, go to like Chicago and go to Cleveland and go, all that time and money traveling to make this, to make like a arts and culture publication.
Now, will this be online?
Basically it's gonna be blog format, and people can order hard copies, but it's gonna be like print on demand. But mostly it's gonna be the, a blog, and partly just going on. It's easier to promote and easier to probably get some ad dollars. But I'm figuring out how to support that. I have some folks that would probably underwrite the articles, so at least the content was paid for, and then maybe a little bit of the printing cost, but a lot of that would be paid by the subscribers. That's like a side project. First things first, this thing is going to be published in mid-January, and I just started getting back into doing kind of like the arts stuff. I've always been involved in the arts, but just kind of like getting back into doing the more fine art stuff. I was doing a lot of commercial art, graphic design. And plus I had a business background, so I was doing a lot of marketing. So I want to kind of like, I just approached this editor, and he's always supported, any of the work. And I said, we need to do a Detroit issue. So that's kind of like the background of how I got to this point talking to you right now. So I don't know how you want to play that, how you go about that. I could just do it like an interview, or if you want to actually do some writing, you can kind of do your own preview of what you think.
I might prefer as a newspaper. I might prefer writing an article. I wrote some articles. What's pertinent now is that things have changed. What happened to Detroit is gone beyond what we intended. Yeah, we fixed some of our problems, and we're wondering if there ain't going to be any more problems, like gentrification and displacement. That's not that big a danger, but it still could be, because we don't have any real control of what kind of people come here and why. We had a lot of good news about some of the people that come down here, and from certain individual artists and groups we had bad news. Some of it was people who were bad actors. They were doing all the wrong things gentrification is associated with. A couple people were doing that, some of them from New York. And I don't know. It's like the jury's still out on the place. Like I was just mentioning to him, the leather goods store which replaced the supermarket over on Alexandrine. I have nice things to say about it, but I wouldn't have thought it'd be established in that particular corner. That used to be a family neighborhood supermarket there that people were dependent on. I don't know if the people who are coming in here are still dependent on it for groceries and stuff. But it's I just don't know. It's not the jury's still out. I think we have a lot of good things going, but we're starting to look like other places now. We don't have that independence we had, the guerrilla independence we had that we took to build it up.
Yeah, I remember when 10 years ago. I mean, that's how I met you over at the 555 gallery, and it seemed like some things were kind of like developing, and then I came back here in 10 years, and I was like, what? Because I've been traveling.
People have moved around.
Like what? I was like, this is an interesting. I mean, this is an interesting development in the past. So I kind of fell out of the scene here, but I always knew certain folks. Like like yourself, but it's just, I go to a show here and there, but not really.
I know.
Yeah.
We used to be in the front of the front of the curve. Now we're in the middle or even behind it. Some of us. There's new people coming in to seem to like replace us. That's probably the impression you're getting.
Well, see, in that,
Strange
I have
new people.
a little different perspective in that.
Yeah, there's different
particularly since,
perspectives.
you know, unlike other cities, we're bankrupt, and so we're in the process of recovering. And the city is also, and the community, many of the people are trying to develop revenue resources. And as a consequence, there is going to be some level of displacement because you got to bring in things that are going to generate revenue.
Right.
And unfortunately, for the poorest among us, they're not revenue generators. And in order for us to help them, the city may want to offer services, but the city's got to have a revenue to pay for it.
Right.
So as a
So
consequence,
you need a tax base for that. Yeah.
well, exactly. You need the tax base, and so as a consequence, yeah, there are going to be some people who are going to be displaced because you have to first generate the revenue. I can't help you if I don't have any funds to help you with, and then also in order to attract and build that tax base, you got to have something that's going to attract those who have the revenue. You know, and so therefore I'm not really upset about the changes that I see because I said this is necessary for to accomplish the other goals we want to accomplish. We can't rebuild neighborhoods without revenue. We can't attract people unless the neighborhoods look nice. Well, in order to make the neighborhoods look nice, you've got to tear down those things that can't be saved, revitalize the neighborhood, which means that you got to have money. You know, you can only get so much money from government, from the federal government or the state government.
Yeah, you come from the private sector.
You know, so you got to get other revenue sources. The other thing I've been an advocate of, which has unfortunately happened to some degree, is that a lot of people here, and it's seen in the commercial area for the minority, a lot of them don't seem to own the property.
Right.
They're renters. And one of the things when you rent, to me, you always got to keep in mind, particularly if you're in an area you know that you see growing development, you know your rent's going to go up. Two things going to happen. Your rent's going to go up, and you got to be able to pay more, or you got to be prepared to move somewhere else, because you can't.
Somewhere else takes you out of the scene.
No,
to a certain extent.
No, you create a new scene. See, the thing is that scenes are created by having something that attracts people. The scene downtown is just one. There are many other places you can create a scene. Livernois, Jefferson,
It means
Grand
starting
River.
over again.
Well,
when I say starting over again, I mean the cycle will start over again. Because when these people come in and they build up something, it takes a matter of time. But soon they be wanting to either, when they rebuild, they don't necessarily rebuild where they were. They start moving out again. So anywhere we go, they're going to follow us.
But see,
And then we have the same thing over and over again.
You're talking about artists.
Yeah, or artist class, our creative class that help make this all happen.
Yeah, I
Are the ones who don't necessarily have the money to stay where they are. There's no.
Yeah, they just push you. It's the same thing in New York. You know, New York City, they push you out of one area. I kind of see a little bit of that.
But see,
a little bit of New York's coming here with the same attitude.
That only
so watch
happens.
out for that.
That only happens when you don't own the property.
Right.
You know, that's why to me that is critical. Own the property. Then you get maximum benefit when things go up. Like in New York, worth millions, they get offers, but see, they can't be moved on because we own them. They own that property. And that's what I've been an advocate of. I say, you know, the people here can do the same thing. This is no magic, something new. This is a common strategy.
Right.
The thing is that you own the property.
Right.
That way you benefit. But if you're a renter, quite naturally, if I'm the landlord, I'm in it to make money. You know, if I get an offer, somebody say I'll pay you $10,000 a month, and you paying me $1,500. You know, that's a no-brainer. You know, so the thing is that I keep saying is that you have to realize in order to get maximum benefit, you have to own the property. You can't be a renter. You know, because you're always going to be at a disadvantage with the value go up, because either one, you're going to have to pay more rent, or somebody's going to come along and offer the owner of the property more money, which means then you're going to have to move. You know, so either your strategy is I will have another place where I can move to, or I will strive to own this building. If I can't own it, I will go somewhere where I can own the property. You know, you can create scenes in other places. And one of the disadvantages, or sometimes to me, of being in the high-end places like downtown, means your overhead is high.
Yeah.
You know, so that can be a disadvantage
So I
too.
go around the east side.
Right.
Even that Jefferson area is starting to blow up. And it's like,
Yeah, because see, like one of the issues they got down there is parking. You know, as you get more development down there, parking is getting difficult. Rates are going up.
Right.
You know, so as a result, to be down there is going to be expensive.
Yeah.
You know, if I was somebody, I would be looking at other areas like along Livernois, Grand River, Michigan Avenue, some of these other avenues right now where it doesn't seem like much is happening, but see, right now, a lot of that property is being bought up. Almost within a 3-mile radius of Detroit, you may not even be able to find any property to buy. Because a lot of them have been buying that property up for about the last 6 or 7 years.
Yep.
Have been buying it up. And so as a consequence, they're already looking. You can create another scene. You know, some of these buildings here that are, you know, vacant commercial buildings, you may be able to get them for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Buy it now. Don't wait until development is now taking place. Because now it's going to be sky.
Well, some folks don't have the balls. I mean, I've talked to some folks, and it's like, well, why don't you buy this right now? And then, and I mean, and these are different cities. It's the same. Some of the same stories are happening. Like I was over on the east side of Cleveland. Reminded me kind of like east side of Detroit. Over there on the Jefferson area, it's kind of like, you know, Jefferson Chalmers, and. You know, but in Cleveland they have a great public transportation, and I was going to move to Cleveland because of that. Because you know, Detroit, and one of the reasons why I like Detroit is now they're starting to think, okay, when the city was built and so spread out, you know, and it's like, I mean, you know, it's going to shrink. You know, it has to.
For now. But see, eventually, what they're hoping is that some of those greens, they're creating the green space, they may turn into like farms, like it's happening now, something that will generate some type of revenue and something of benefit.
What do you think about farming? Because I have a mixed feelings on the fact that, you know, my family, some of them are farmers. And so, you know, I told them about, you know, some of the projects I was working on the east side.
I don't think the laws are. I mean, you got these private farmers. You're talking about people who farm in their backyards and maybe have co-ops and stuff.
Right. Well. I'll get to that, but I told her about, like, hey, you know, there's this little urban farm garden thing, you know, we're kind of experimenting with some certain ideas, and they go,
I like the idea of it if it works more closer with Eastern Market, somewhere that isn't corporate, you know, like, you can grow this stuff informally and sell it at Eastern Market. I don't know the laws.
Well, I think it's what I was going to mention is that can you generate enough scale? You know, like I said, my aunt has more farmland than all the urban farmers in all of Detroit.
A regular farm.
And one person, my aunt, owns all. And if you take probably the amount of what people are farming right now, you know, they're quarter acres or whatever, you know, and you take, you know, all the different gardens or whatever, and there's only so many acres involved in Detroit proper. What is it, like 40 acres or something like that?
The total amount of farm acreage?
No, the total amount of land.
Oh no, it's more than 40 acres.
No,
or like farmable land. I remember reading there was like only a certain amount, but if you take a lot of that, I mean, you have basically
thousands of potential acres.
Right. Okay. You know, and I think they were saying that like there's only so much farmland. And I'm like, you know, but if you had one large 120 acre farm, which would be in, you know, a decent sized operation. You know, I just have questions of matter of scale without getting too many too bold with the opinions. I've been thinking about it, and I've worked with a few clients, and I was like, you just don't have the scale to turn this into a business.
Well, I think
you know, like some of them are developing that.
Yeah, I think most of them are looking at Not so much. There's only a couple that I think are looking at becoming commercial. Like this one that just recently signed a deal with the city to become a commercial farm.
I met with that guy.
And
what's the scope
the
of
thing
your
is that it's, they're looking for servicing the local market, restaurants and local supermarkets, food markets.
I think you'll be able to
Yeah.
he has enough scale that
Mhm.
it's going to make sense.
Mhm.
But I go to these urban.
You can do that on your own. You can be a self-initiated. You don't have to
Yeah,
wait
self-taught,
to go
yeah.
right. Teach yourself. I mean, the library is the house of knowledge. You
Right.
can start educating yourself. So, to a certain degree, it's what people have failed to do. The other thing is
What about your magazine? Your newspaper?
Okay.
We gotta get back to immediate scope.
So the immediate scope would be, it's real simple. Just figure out, what do you want to write about, or how you would approach it. Whether you're going to.
I want to write about painting. I don't want to write about the scene anymore. I think the scene I like the struggle more, and it's gone. I think that's going to be a change.
What's that?
But what we used to do, what we had to do to get to where we are, and how it changed on us. I don't have all my facts yet. I would rather just write about.
Well, that's one thing that I'm very much interested in that, because I work in scene. I've done numerous shows in Detroit, and it's a very different city than before when I first was here. But then at the same time, that changed. Sometimes it seems too slick, and the thing that made Detroit.
We had no call on that. We try to do is fix a problem, and what people got so interested in, the people we don't know, that the out of towners, that they invested into it and got into it, and they followed our model. It wasn't even. We had our own model of working at it, and people came in and coincided with us, like Richard Florida, and it became a real estate bubble of sorts. It became a real estate scheme. When we showed, I guess it was sort of a content of character thing between the artist and the community. If we got enough artists in there, then there's enough to build on. We brought in the imagination, and they brought in the money, but it wasn't for us. It was for them to do entrepreneurial stuff. What is that noise?
it's the phone.
And they brought in businesses, small businesses like pet shops, and Royal Oak style eateries, and middle level entertainment venues, and they peripherally are around the arts. And then it was all called the creative class, and they came in on that.
Because I think a lot of times I see
And it's
the
all
artists exploited.
dangerously
They didn't
white
get anything
bread.
from it. I mean, I think some artists were exploited. I know, how
Yeah.
many,
Yeah.
I mean, and not to say that that's anything new. I just think that there was a special flavor of exploitation, because I've seen a lot of places.
This is new. This is new. What we're going through now.
And
is
it's
new.
it's like hyper exploitation, even in a way. And also, it's like, at least you had
You think of Black Bomb and the way it was displaced, and
this.
this is similar but different.
Yeah, it's got a weird. That's what I'm saying. I think this is something a story that I feel compelled to help tell, because I think it'll add to things I see in other cities, and also to say, hey, if you want this arts and culture, and that's a big part of your economic engine, you have to support the living artist.
But see,
I mean, that you definitely there has to be. You can't have that
No proviso was ever made in that
provision.
provision. No, none.
And that's what I'm saying. I look at this, and I've been in these things.
Illich could have done it. What's the Quicken Loans guy name again?
Dan Gilbert.
He could have done something.
Well, no.
He could have done something in the course of what he did.
Well,
In the course of what he did.
I'm not going to go so far as to say that, because I don't know of the artists that he has employed, which ones have been local or not. And I do know, however, he has been involved in the arts and culture. Also, I don't know to what degree the other artists have or have not benefited, because I mean that is not necessarily just doing art. It might be employment and revenue generating jobs that a lot of the artists may not have had. You look at the number of restaurants that are here. How many of them employ artists? For what artists want to do.
What I'm saying is that I see that happening, but the point I'm trying to make, or maybe the idea I'm trying to put out there, or just talking about, and I don't have everything flushed out in this, but it seems as if there were 10 years ago, the creative class, you come in here, you do this, and then the city's really thriving now. They're starting to right the ship. And then they're going to say, hey, okay, we want this to continue. And so with that discussion, I'm like, okay, how do you support the work to keep it to change, to have it change and have artists develop, like to really think about cities like New York, LA, Detroit is in a position to do that. Is doing it, but also at the same time, like, are we just going to mimic the same model and then do the same old thing, or are we going to try to do something different with how we support the arts? And maybe it's it's happening right now.
Well, by now Dan Gilbert's been definitely a supporter of the arts.
We're talking about a business cycle that recycles itself and regenerates itself. What we're talking about, you and I are talking about the happily ever after, the finish line. We're supposed to have been there because we only have a certain level of wants and needs. They have a cyclical pattern where they build up, let it stagnate, and build up again. They even got a thing where they're going out like a concentric donut. Like first it's Ferndale and Royal, then it's maybe out to Sterling Heights, and then it comes back in again when the infrastructure degrades. New businesses, same Royal Oak, what do you want to call it? The eateries and the little boutique kind of thing we're seeing going up and down the Midtown. They go in cycles. They just because they make more money doing this cyclically than maintaining the infrastructure they already put in. All we want is a happily ever after. I was happy in the quarter all my life. All I want to do is see it juiced up a little bit so I can move around in it. It's just about there. I see it leveling off. I don't know what's going to do next. I guess they're going to go to another neighborhood, and they're going to drive us there. I mean, Rick Geyer and I was talking about it at the time. Say, won't we start this cycle all over again if we move somewhere else and they follow us out there and start this shit again?
Well, see,
and Rick said yes.
But I think Dozier has it. When the artist, and this is another thing I'm pushing too, along with the Arts and Culture magazine, everything that's kind of tied in, is that artists need to think, like, if we're not going to make the money off our art and we're going to be pushing culture, every dollar we spend should be on buildings or being strategic in pooling our funds, so we can then, like, if we bought that building in New York and say there was only like 10 of us and we pulled together our little pennies and we bought it, then later on we wouldn't even need to sell art. We just sell the building and maybe buy another one, or not sell the building and let it go up in value. I mean, you have financial options, and that has been the next part of like my evolution as an artist, because I felt like, man, I'm making paintings, it's socially active type of stuff, but I'm not, like, the next step was to say, hey, like, instead of talking about this, let's buy the building, let's employ artists through their investment. And so I've been working on some other ideas, if you're interested, that are already in play right now, of actually buying buildings outside of Grosse Pointe as they're moving out and developing Jefferson Chalmers area. That building right now is on $125,000, and I'd give it about 5 years, that building's going to be 3 times that.
One good thing is I don't think we have the danger of Black Bottom have when people just come down here and take from us. I think it's just going to be something a little different. I'm sorry, George.
I'm going to say, that's the thing that.
Can you hold for a second?
Sure.
Hello.
Hey, I'm outside here with
Yeah, I'll come let you in. And who do you have with you?
What's that?
Wait, do you have someone with you?
Yeah, I have Sheila Hale.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
You want to take a seat?
Okay, yeah, cool.
What's this? I mean, this is part of the group?
Yeah, this is part of my business partner and another person that, they're cool folks. I think they're folks that maybe you want to meet.
Yeah, you can introduce them when you bring them in.
Did you want to come out here? You want me to come?
No,
I might. Okay.
You want to bring one back?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's bring one back.
I'm right behind you.
Well, I've been pumping you. It's like, yeah, man, he's a big deal. The Kresge Foundation. I'm really like, I met you 10 years ago, and then like, hey, man, he's like doing some interesting thing. That's a big deal.
That money's spent, but I'll tell you
Well,
what.
it's not that. It's what you're.
It's I think there's enough room.
Your name is Sheila.
Sheila Hale.
Well,
Hale.
they're here for the meeting. I'm here being nosy.
Oh, I see.
Uh-huh.
You see an inquisitive mind.
Well, when he said all these rooms, because I'm an event planner.
Oh,
And
I
I'm
see.
also
An event plan. From
a
Cleveland?
vision,
You
visionary.
here?
Oh, I see.
Okay.
We'll
find some seating for everybody. Is there enough seats in here?
I'm gonna let y'all go in.
Well, there's a couch.
Yeah, come on in. Sit down.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Oh, go ahead. I've been talking. I can always. I need to get Bryant's number. But do you have a card?
Yeah.
Okay. Because then we can kind of finish out that way. But you kind of got an idea of.
Can I have one too?
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah, this
hook
is,
up with me on Facebook.
Yeah, this is the 4731 gallery.
Yeah.
So that front room, when you came into the door, that room directly facing you, that was facing you, that open entrance, is to the gallery. So they used to do monthly art exhibitions here. Brian was the director of the space. Also upstairs, they rent spaces to artists, and studio spaces for rent upstairs.
There's room for two bodies on that couch.
Yeah, I'm taking off.
Oh, okay.
Meeting and stuff, yeah.
Oh, all right then.
I'm gonna come so I can kind of walk around one day and then see
Sure thing.
how we can bless each other.
But,
Oh, okay.
I think you guys are all awesome folks. So it's cool that you guys are meeting.
Oh yeah, yeah. 'Cause I love art.
Yeah, we have an organization called LEAP, Linking Everyday Extraordinary People, ourselves, and we teach everything in there.
I see.
Everything has an educational component, including the executive officer has to have someone shadow them so that they learn that. But we teach arts, dance, music, culinary arts, holistic wellness center.
I see.
And we do all the teaching so that our people can get it at a cheaper price, even though it's a student doing it, master is over. And so there are different ways that we teach through licensing. That's cosmetology has state board, right? And then culinary also has to be licensed to do that. But then we also teach through certification that would.
So are you going to openings tonight?
Yeah, I guess. Artist market's got the
For that
food,
holiday show,
got the food out.
but also Wayne State alumni show that opens today. George Namdi opens.
I need to see if Zipper magazine has got their new issue out.
Yeah, somebody
Somebody
said.
called me.
Zipper
today.
magazine?
Aren't you in that?
I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I believe you are. I talked to Marianne.
Marianne Burroughs.
Yeah.
She's the one that wrote it.
Oh, I see.
And somebody called me today and asked, I had a couple
believe
of
it's
questions. He didn't seem to know whether or not it's out.
I
got
see.
nervous,
I see.
but I think it should be out by now. See, I don't
You'll
remember.
know when your phone rings.
Yeah, I got a partial recording of that conversation.
Did you do the TV dinner there or the turkey dinner or whatever?
Yeah, it's one of my early pieces, the turkey dinner.
That's great.
Let's see.
Seasonally. We're in that season right now.
Yeah, but I'm not doing any more damn turkeys, that's for sure.
Do you paint in here? Is this your
I used to paint in here, but I decided to paint at home for reasons. And it turned out all right. I'm starting to sell them out of the house now. I want to do something more grander so I can make a little more money. But you know, it's like what I was talking earlier when I used to talk that store over the leather store. I said all sorts of nasty things about it because I knew that you were displacing the Indian family. Then I found out for the guys in there that the Indians were living upstairs in that place. They were living upstairs in their grocery store. You know those two-way mirror windows up there along the meat counter? Their bedrooms and their kitchens were up there.
I see.
They were staring at us from their living spaces in there. I thought that was incredible.
Well, I mean, they weren't displacing it. They decided they wanted to sell it.
Yeah,
You know, they owned it, so they sold it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, they were leasing it. But see, that's why I said, you know, the people who are visionaries, they're the ones who realize the advantages of owning. They're the ones who look at trends and say, oh, I can see this 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, they're going to be over there. So I'm going to get me something over there now.
I'm trying to think of...
You don't wait until it starts to happen. That's what happened with a lot of people who often complain about, you know, losing their rental spaces downtown. You know, all them years when downtown looked like a ghost town was the time they should have been moving to either buy the building, or if you see the person didn't want to sell it, you make your plans to be able to leave quickly because you know what's going to happen. You know, you don't wait until it starts happening. Yeah, because everybody wants to be a part of it. You know, you've waited too late. You know, you can use the same strategies they employ. You know, Dan Gilbert, like he said, when he came in, it was a gamble. But he said, I feel Detroit is going to be on the research, and I'm going to help make it a city of success of growing again. When he started moving Quicken Loans down there, I'm pretty sure he got people saying, oh, damn, you're making a big mistake. Detroit is dead. You know, why are you going to invest that money down there? But he had the vision. No, I think I can help turn this city around. And he started buying those buildings up. And you remember when he was doing it, a lot of people they weren't interested in buying those buildings. They were glad to sell it. Yeah, Dan, you want to buy those buildings? Hey, okay, here, you can buy it.
I think you understand where Dozier sits on the...
Well, see,
it's hard to be in the middle of these things.
Well, see, because I look at it, having lived here all my life, I've seen when Detroit was at its peak in the 60s, and I've seen that steady decline. And I've seen when people didn't want... In fact, they were like, why in the hell should I invest in Detroit? Last person out, turn off the light. They had wrote Detroit off.
Dozier's closer to that side. I'm I'm trying to screw a new bulb in.
I look at the history. Then I look at a lot of the people
don't want to be kicked around and moved.
No. A lot of the people
bad enough to kick around and move.
No, because a lot of the people. I remember when Coleman Young was mayor back in the 80s. He was a strong. He was telling people, buy the property now. Things will turn around. Buy property. He was advocating Detroiters. Own your property. Invest here. You know what a lot of them saying? I ain't invested in Detroit. They were moving out as soon as they could. Moving out to the burbs. A lot of people who had the means. Okay? Now, when it steadily declined, and a lot of them people, I ain't investing in Detroit. And don't be misled. There are a lot of wealthy black people in Metro Detroit. Don't you let yourself be fooled to think they're not. They are a lot. But they weren't interested. A lot of them weren't interested in investing in Detroit.
The median income in Detroit is $16,000.
But that's within those who live in Detroit who didn't move out. A lot of the ones whose median income was much higher, they had left. Okay, they were the ones who went out. And they're the ones who could have invested, but a lot of them did not. Okay? And like I said, there are different strategies to invest. You don't have to do it yourself. You form consortiums, investment groups, just like all the others do. Dan Gilbert wasn't buying it by himself. He has partners. He formed investment consortium. They acquired those buildings. You know, so it wasn't just him alone. He used the strategy, hey, me and my friend, we form a partnership. So we go in together. So maybe we own half ownership of a building, or we buy it outright, or we manage this building for somebody else who might own it. But that's the strategy you use. It's not like I got to do it all by myself. Okay? But the thing was that the rest of them weren't willing to do it. The Illigers were willing to do it. Dan Gilbert was willing to do it. Wayne State was willing to do it. And some of these, but a lot of them weren't willing to do it. Now, everybody sees. Now everybody wants to get in. Yeah. Well, now, if you were one of those who sat on the fence, you waited too long. Because now you got to compete against people who may have greater resources. But a lot of them are also forming investment groups. And so they're not necessarily doing it by themselves.
Well, I get that. And again, there are a lot of people that, again, because of the Gilberts and the process of, they crushed not just the hopes, but the economics of a lot of people to purchase. And
No. They didn't crush. Those people had unrealistic expectations.
Now you're blaming the victim.
No, I'm not blaming the victim. What I'm saying, why would you expect...
Gilbert doesn't slam the door. You slam the door.
No. Why would you expect to now be able to buy a prime spot on Woodward Avenue at this time?